The United States Pentagon has just done something that has sent shockwaves through the entire artificial intelligence industry. They have designated one of the most powerful AI companies in the world as a supply chain risk, and the consequences could be catastrophic. We're talking about $60 billion at risk overnight. Let me explain exactly what happened, why it matters, and what it means for the future of AI. First, who is Anthropic? If you've been following this channel, you'll know Anthropic as the company behind Claude, one of the most powerful AI assistants in the world and a direct competitor to ChatGPT. Anthropic was founded by former OpenAI researchers, is backed by Google and Amazon, and has raised over $60 billion from more than 200 venture capital investors. It is considered one of the crown jewels of American artificial intelligence. Until now. What exactly did the Pentagon do? The US Department of Defense has officially designated Anthropic as a supply chain risk. That might sound like boring government language, but the practical implications are enormous. What it means in plain English is this. Military contractors, the companies that build weapons systems, run defense infrastructure, and power America's national security apparatus, are now prevented from deploying Claude in their applications. If you're a defense contractor and you've been building AI systems powered by Claude, you now have a problem. But it goes further than that. The designation could force companies like Nvidia, which does significant business with the US military, to sever their commercial activities with Anthropic entirely. Think about what that means. Nvidia is one of the most important technology companies in the world. Their chips power virtually every major AI system on the planet. If Nvidia is forced to choose between the Pentagon and Anthropic, there is only one choice they can make. This is being described as an existential moment. Not just for Anthropic, for American AI as a whole. Why did this happen? This is where it gets complicated. The details of the Pentagon's exact reasoning haven't been fully made public. What we do know is that the designation is unprecedented. No major American AI company has ever been labeled a supply chain risk by the Department of Defense before. This is new territory. There is a broader context here that's important to understand. Governments around the world are grappling with a fundamental question right now. How do you regulate AI companies that are building systems powerful enough to affect national security? Who has oversight? Who decides what's safe? And what happens when a private company's values don't align perfectly with a government's priorities? Anthropic has been one of the most vocal AI companies about safety and responsibility. They've built their entire brand around the idea of developing AI carefully and ethically. The irony of the most safety-focused AI company becoming a national security concern is not lost on anyone watching this story closely. Microsoft has actually filed a brief supporting Anthropic in this situation, which tells you how seriously the industry is taking this. When Microsoft goes to bat for a direct competitor, something significant is happening. What does $60 billion at risk actually mean? Let's talk about the money because this number is staggering. Anthropic has received investment from over 200 venture capital firms. The total invested is over $60 billion. These are some of the biggest names in finance, technology, and private equity. If the Pentagon designation stands, and if it triggers a broader pullback from government and enterprise contracts, those investors are looking at significant losses. The valuation of Anthropic depends heavily on its ability to sell its technology to large organizations, including eventually government bodies. If that door closes, the financial model changes dramatically. This is not theoretical. This is real money that real investors have committed based on expectations that are now being questioned. What should you make of all this? Here's my honest take. This story is about something much bigger than Anthropic versus the Pentagon. It's about the collision between the pace of AI development and the speed at which governments can understand and regulate it. AI companies have moved extraordinarily fast over the last 3 years. Governments have moved slowly. That gap is now creating real consequences, not just in boardrooms, but in the relationship between private technology and national security. The question nobody has a clean answer to right now is this: who should control the most powerful AI systems in the world? The companies that built them, the governments that regulate them, the investors that funded them, or the public that uses them? What happened to Anthropic this week is a preview of a conversation that is coming for every major AI company. OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Meta AI, all of them will eventually face versions of this question. And the answer the world settles on will define what artificial intelligence looks like for the next 20 years. If you want to stay across the stories that are actually shaping AI, not the hype, not the sales pitches, just the honest truth, subscribe to AI Unfiltered. And remember, keep the faith. See you in the next one.